Hi, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Real Views. Well, this week is an interesting one. For this week, the topic is: does body count? Now, research has shown that. In fact, I'm going to quickly read it out to you. Let me see if I can get hold of it. And so, research has shown that or a research from a dating site called Illicit Encounters. It's a dating site for married people. It's found that the ideal number of sexual partners in a lifetime is 12. And they say that the research found 40% of men. Can you all hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Can
Right.
everybody else?
If you can hear me, if you want to speak, just put your hand up and then unmute yourself. That's all you have to do. Okay. So, as I was saying, let me go back to the research. So the research shows that, well, I said that the from about the research found 40% of men and 49% of women thought that between 10 and 14 partners is best, with 12 being the perfect number. And so basically, they're saying that in a lifetime, the perfect number for partners, for a man or woman, sexual partners to have is 12. But then another research from the Institute for Family Studies has shown that they found the shrinkage in divorce rates from American women who were married as virgins. And it's apparently stayed essentially the same for those with only one or two premarital sex partners. And then the research went on to say that divorce rates went up the most for women with 10 plus sexual partners before marriage.
Okay.
Now, the is this: there's no mention of men. They,
With
they're
everything
quick.
else,
Pardon?
as with everything else.
Do you understand? Like, so there's been a quick mention of how premarital sexual partners affect women in the future relationships or in the marriages and the divorce rate, but there's no mention of women.
Right. Men.
Sorry, there's no mention of men.
Mm.
So the question is, do you think that the number of sexual partners, looking at the various research and statistics, um, do you think that is the number of such partners affects future relationships or marriages? That's number one. And then number two, there's also seemed to be this stigma on women who have a lot of sexual partners. While guys are seen as studs, women are seen as sluts. Okay, but there's this thing they say that it's a joke, but it kind of passes the message. They say that a key that opens every lock is a master key, but a lock that is opened by all the keys is a shit lock.
Okay.
So, as usual, the platform, the Real Views platform, is a non-judgmental, interactive platform, and so if you want to just talk, um, I just need to just put your hand up, unmute your mic, and then you speak. But again, like I said, we'll make it a very organized and structured debate. But again, remember, it's more like it's very much a pub beer parlor conversation. Do not forget that we're speaking our mind, just having this debate. So The key that opens all the locks is the master key, and the lock that is opened by all the keys is a sheet lock.
You.
So who's going to start? Chizoba, do you want to start on this point?
Um. Uh. Well, I can't. No. I don't agree. I don't agree because there are human beings are unique in their own way, right? Human beings
Yeah.
are different. We all have different backgrounds. We all have different ways of thinking, or different ways of behaving. Forget what society says. When I mean forget, I don't mean like totally forget. Like let's leave society aside. If human beings were left on their own, they have different ways of doing things. So, society tends to stigmatize, or should I say control, the notion of a lot of things, right? So there are
Yeah.
rules to be able to make you think a certain way. There are adages to make you behave in a certain way. That I understand. Now, going back to that statistics you read
I
out,
mentioned earlier.
and where they are coming from, I can understand where they're coming from, but I would say I still don't totally agree. Not because of the women or the men factor. I think this is the thing. Now, this is where I agree to a point. Now, they said women who had maybe zero to who married as virgins versus having maybe one or two sexual partners had very low divorce rates compared to women who had about 10 or 12, however the case may be.
So, Chizoba, can you just move closer to your mic, just so that we can hear you?
Can you hear
Yeah.
me clearly now? Can you hear me clearly now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was saying that this is how where I agree to a certain level. Now, a woman who has not really had so many sexual partners before she got married practically doesn't understand the choices she has. I don't know if that makes sense. Basically,
Yes.
okay, like if you're used to eating yum 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 yum, like you guys say, like you eat yam and tomorrow.
Yes. Yes. I understand that variety. Okay.
Yeah, so she's not aware of the variety that she has. So she's stuck with this person because this is what she knows, and this is what she thinks is the way she feel, right? So, she's not going to want to go outside. But it doesn't mean that there are actually some virgins who don't ask themselves, regardless what's there outside. You get what I
True.
mean?
That's
Now, now, for those ones who have had multiple partners, it's understandable that probably they've had multiple partners, they've tried it every way, whatever. But they also probably got married to somebody who didn't give them the same kind of feeling that, probably somebody in their past gave them. So there's a tendency to want to hamper on that and search. And then there's fights and then divorce and however the case may be. Yes, I get that to that extent with the research. But I also understand that there are some people who are highly sexual and there's some people who are not highly sexual. So even somebody who has probably, for lack of a better word, maybe dated, and the person is not this kind of person that would play hard to get and direct and okay, you toast me and fine, we're not playing, whatever, you have sex or whatever the case may be, and let us say for some reason body count gets to that, and she's not entirely highly sexual and she's ready to settle down. There's some people that will do all that and they're just ready to settle down and they just settle down and that's it. You understand? That's it for life. But it doesn't always work that way. Personally, if you want to talk about if body count counts, it's like holding a grudge unnecessarily about someone's past. Stuff has happened. It has happened, it's gone. This is how, like I said, this is my opinion. It's very open to debate. Stuff has happened, it has happened. Forget about it. This is now me and you now in this relationship. This is what we should focus on. Do you understand? So, because even if you want to talk about having one or two partners, let us even say the virgins or virgins to the people that had one or two partners. Do you know how many people that one or two partners have slept with before sleeping with you? So do you want to add all that body count from the different people they slept with?
no, no.
That tree. I'm just saying, do you want to connect that tree all the way down to you? So in other words, you indirectly with your one or two partners have had history of body
Yeah, but
count.
that's them.
Yeah, but that's them. But it's when people have sex, there's a whole lot of things to sex. It's not
Very
just
true.
yeah. So I don't look at sex as the physical. It doesn't always
Okay.
work. There's a lot of
Okay.
things.
Chizoba, just hold that thought. let me come to the guys. Guys, would you, if a girl told you she has slept with 100 guys, would you go ahead and marry her? How would you feel? Guys, come on, I'm waiting for you.
Well, hi guys.
Hello, Emmanuel.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a little bit late. Actually, for me, it also depends. If a girl tells me that she has slept with several guys, I'll be like, oh, is she actually a wife material, or if I get married to her, will I be? There's this adage we say in my place. Is it the case that she's Keziah, as in she'll be a free giver? So for some guys, including myself, this kind of thought will be like going through my mind as I'll be wondering whether she is a free donor or a free distributor. So there will be this kind of thoughts going on in my mind. That is in my own point of view.
Okay. So, right. So what you're saying for you and I think you speak the mind of most men. It matters really how many men, not for all. I wouldn't say, like we say, when we use the general, we know that there are particular cases. So Emmanuel, what you're saying is for you, if a woman has slept with a few men, it's a problem for you. I want to go back to the women quickly. Now, if a guy said to you, I've slept with 500 girls or women, what would you say? How would you still go ahead and marry him?
Let another lady answer this one. Let me be quiet first, so I don't.
Tamara, who are those there? Tamara, do you want to answer this?
Yeah. Okay, I will still go ahead. I'm not going to judge him because he's been with 500 girls or 500 women. Everything depends on what I feel about him, because I also know that I have my own. I'm sure I would have done something that maybe might be worse than what he's doing or what he had done. So I'm not going to judge him because he's been with, but that's the case now. You see, he's a guy, he's not going to be judged, but a girl now, a woman will be judged for that 100%. Even if you even say 2, they will judge you.
All right, guys, can I explain something to you? Right. But now, it is true that men and women get judged differently. And so which means that the different skills. Now, with men, when it comes to women, men are possessive. Now I'm going to explain this to you. Men are possessive, right? So when it comes to woman, or the woman they decide to be with, it's an issue of ego. And I'll give you an example. So I'm not calling women cars by any means. I want you to listen to this. So if you go and buy a car, right, and it's clean outside, the tires are nice and new, but it has very high mileage. It has over 1 million miles. Would you buy that car? Guys and girls, anybody, would you buy that car?
Dude, this stuff happens in Nigeria every freaking day. Like, you all buy used cars with all the
yeah, but that's true.
Mileage.
No. We can't. No, Chizaba. No, Chizaba. I want you to. No. Let's. Okay, it's Nigeria, but let's be. Okay.
Sometimes, please, can I say something? Sometimes some people will buy it with the intention of they will go and maybe work it, repair it, or do something bad, the mileage and whatever you're saying. They will go ahead. They already know the situation.
But would you pay the price of a brand new car for it?
No, of course no. You might not do that. Okay. But I don't think you should.
Now, let's compare. Okay, Philip.
It depends on the model of the car and the type of the car. You understand? So a brand new Hyundai may not be as expensive as a fairly used Benz, for instance. You understand? So it depends on how, I don't know how that translates to human beings. Perhaps you want to talk about level of education.
I will explain that. Exactly. All these things. Now, let's say you find another car.
Exactly.
No, let's say you find another car that is clean, new. The tires are not very new, but it has low mileage. And it's side by side with the one with the high mileage, which the body is fine, the tires are new, everything, but very 1,000,000 miles. Whereas this one has only 50 or 5,000 miles. Which would you pay more for?
The outside looks not so clean, but the inside has a few miles. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so no. Let's say the outside is fine. Let me explain again. So you have one car, the outside is nice, but the tires are not very new. But the mileage is low. It has very low mileage. And then you have the other car that outside looks immaculate, the tires are new, but it has over 1,000,000 miles.
Oh, see, sorry.
No. Let me finish. Let me land. Now, would you pay the same price for both cars?
Look.
Of course.
No. Let's be straight. There's no.
It's like telling me to compare a very clean Nissan Micra and then the Benz that has 1,000,000 miles. Benny, I'm buying that Benz. Even if it is, I don't know how you want to do it, man. I'm buying that Benz. Why would I take the Nissan Micra?
No. I'm talking of no. I'm talking of exact same cars. So both of cars are Mercedes.
Okay.
One with high mileage, one with low mileage. The same price. What would you pick?
Definitely, you want to pick the one with it is the same car.
Exactly. Now this is no. Let me land. This is exactly what happens when it comes to relationships. And this is, I'm not saying women are cast by any means. I'm saying this is exactly how men think. Because let me land. Now you don't. Okay, let me explain this way. So with men and women, women are born with value. Do you understand that? Now let me explain that. So which means that by nature, by being a woman, being beautiful, you already have value. Yes? Remember last week we talked about what makes a woman attractive to a man? And we talked about the 3 6s, right? We said 6 feet tall. You remember? 6-figure salary, 6 pounds. Now all this, men have to work and build value for themselves. Women don't have to do that. I'm just keeping it real and keeping it open there so that we can have this. I'm not on any side as usual. So, which means that if a man, for a woman to let a man sleep with her, he has to bring some kind of value, right or wrong. You won't sleep with a bum, women. You know, we talked about it. We said last week. We said, would you be with someone who was short, broke, unfit? No, right. Whereas for women, so it's because you already have value, you have to measure value, right? So it depends on what value the man brings to you. So which means that for a man that sleeps with a lot of women, it simply means he has value, and so he's able to attract all these women, which is attractive. No, let me finish. And a woman who's sleeping with a lot more men means that she doesn't know her value, or she basically takes little or no value. Does that make sense? I'm just putting it out there.
I'm trying to make it make sense. I'm sorry, but this is
Okay, let me explain it again. So because men have to work for value, right? For women to even look at them, right?
I understand what you said. Sorry, I understand everything you said. I'm just saying in my head is doing me in.
I know, that's this. So that's what I'm trying to. We're saying, okay, why do we have these different yardsticks for men and women? Why is that?
It doesn't make any sense to have those yardsticks, to be very honest. Like when you're talking about the 2 Mercedes and the same price and what. That is why in the beginning I said people are different. Like when people enter into a relationship, they know what they are looking for in a relationship. First of all, you know what you're looking for. That's why there's some men that will go out and outright marry a prostitute. I don't know why, but that's his choice.
But what we're saying, no. What we're saying, you're talking particular cases. What I'm now saying is, what is the general consensus generally now? I want to bring other people to talk. Isaac, you want to tell us something? What do you have to contribute to this? Isaac, what's your opinion on this?
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. I've been listening to it, and I can see that the lady, she's trying to like not give in because she has to protect the female folks, which is understandable very well. At the same time, I don't know, but you were saying you made an example. You cited an example about a car with
High
different
mileage.
mileages. What if but what if you don't know? What if that person in a relationship is lying to you? Because maybe she feels that if you know her body counts,
Yeah.
you're going to devalue her because you said women comes with value. So you're going to devalue her. So
But
what if she lied?
that's a different thing. But as a man, you as a man, what would you like
Okay.
if you know? Would you say it doesn't matter? And if you say it does matter, why do you think it matters?
Well, it matters because why I'm saying it matters because if it's going to be a long-term relationship, then it matters to me because definitely if I'm buying something, I'll definitely want to enjoy the value of that thing, not when I know it's half gone. So
So
if I
basically,
go
you
in
won't
there,
pay full price
no,
for
I won't pay full price. And I
okay.
have this thing about me. If I know that already, it will be in my mind anytime. Anytime we are trying to make out, it will be there.
Like most men.
Out, yes, it will be there. That is
Okay.
why it's difficult when a woman cheats. It's difficult for a man to forgive than when a man cheats. It's, the way a woman has
See,
said,
is this
because
double standards
it's
we're
all,
looking at? That's the thing. That's why that's what the debate is all about. But the question is this, though:
yes,
is the women would argue and say, women would argue and say, actually, it's the past. I'm with you now. It doesn't matter. Do you understand? And she's about that's your point, I believe. Is the past. So why would you want to judge me with my past? We all have past.
On both sides. I'm not just talking about only on the
Yeah,
only on
but
the
you
I'm
see,
saying on both sides. But now this is the thing. You were saying, okay, when the guy sleeps with a lot of girls and then he's seen as a stud or he has value. Sorry, when a guy sleeps with a lot of girls, to me he's a dog. I don't know what you think about it. He's a freaking dog. He's not, he doesn't have any value. You like if you can share your thing, Keziah, like my colleague there said,
well, that's
you like
another way of looking at it.
Exactly, no value. You don't have value. So don't see it like because you have so many, so you have no, you don't.
yeah, that's true. No value.
No value.
about
Okay,
every,
no, okay. We're talking about okay. So
do you understand?
so basically, on both sides, we don't want community properties.
Exactly, we don't.
But the issue is this: why is it more? Why does the burden lie more on the women than the men? The men seem to get away with it.
As with everything else, is the thing, is the African
It's
thing.
not.
Like
No.
It's
We cannot say
societal
everything
thing.
else.
even
A man cannot get away with being short and fat, unfit and broke. You can't get away with that. We cannot.
yeah,
Yeah.
We,
there are a lot
She,
of people
we agree.
I,
You
I feel
then,
I feel why that of women is more pronounced is because it's visible on them, it shows on them, it tells on them. But unlike a man, you can never tell how many women a man has slept with. But with a woman, you can tell you know definitely either her boobs or from her other private part.
that
You
is
definitely
interesting.
know.
Okay,
You
women,
know.
is this true? I don't, Isaac. I know nothing about this one. Is this
I
true?
don't think I don't think
now
so. I don't think so. These are
let me tell
myths.
you why I think it's wrong. Let me tell you why I think it's wrong. Again, I'm going to start with everyone is different. You know, there are some people that actually did not lose their virginity with sex. You
True.
Sure.
realize?
Absolutely.
Like exactly. So a lot of things can happen to a lot. There are a lot of
Why do
people
you
that
say
have things
absolutely, Andrew?
about.
True about God.
At the end of the day, you cannot say you can't tell. Some people can be as wayward as anything and they would clean up so nicely, you won't tell nothing. A lot of things to be able to heighten, raise your boobs up or whatever the case, and you will not tell nothing. It, it really isn't, it really isn't a crime. What me I'm just saying generally is I feel like we should go past all the previous things that people have done. And if you've decided you want to stay in a relationship with this person, it's not all about sex. I know that men always like to want to keep that kind of thing in their head. Women actually keep those things in their head too. The fact that we actually decide to go past it. It's not because we cannot sit down and dwell on it. It's the fact that it's going to be a waste of time. Society is going to make you feel like you're doing a wrong thing by thinking about it too much. So it's all society. So all these freaking rules around that is making you feel like, oh, you're bad for holding on to your husband's past and what. It makes no sense. So we rather not dwell on it. We move on. We move, as they say. So if a guy has a huge body count and I've decided, okay,
we can't hear you anymore.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unmute your mic. Yeah, better.
Okay, so I was saying, if we move past the fact I've met someone and we both decide we want to spend the rest of our life together, what else do we bring to the table? There should be things like trust, union, what values, goals that we want to achieve together. There's a whole lot than who you've slept with before.
Exactly.
That question shouldn't even come up. If you know it's going to mess with your head, then don't even think about it, so that you have a very easy, free going relationship. Look
Okay.
at
Yes.
how you approach that person in the first place and why you felt this person is good enough for you to spend the rest of your life with, than spoiling everything with body count. Everyone is
Okay.
connected to everybody in that case. You want to count
This should be the ideal. And we all wish we could think like this, but somehow men and women are built differently. Do you agree?
Yes, I agree.
And men, we okay, I'll put it this way. A man does not, I don't think any man wants to walk into a room and count 2, 3, 4, 5 men his wife has slept with. Do you agree? Whereas for women, let me put it, I want you to pay attention. For women, it could be the other way around. You could go, even if you have those exes, you could go, do you know what? I'm the one winning. I'm the one with him. Do you understand? Whereas for men, it's an ego thing. Isaac, you're saying something.
I have this word I usually tell people. I say women navigate the world through emotions, while men navigate the world through logic and reasoning. You understand? So when something like that comes, a woman, there are these emotional types, these emotional creatures that are quick to forgive. They can let go. But you see, men, sometimes they can be in midst of their friends talking about this and all that, and that thing will flash back. And even if their friends even get to know about this, they think these people will laugh at them scornfully. So so for a man, it's difficult.
Okay.
It's difficult.
I think most of us are Africans who have similar cultures. Now, why do you think in the past, during our parents' time, why do you think polygamy worked?
Created the law of polygamy in the first place, please? Was it a woman?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So
let me correct you.
Adam and Eve, not
No.
Women.
No. Let me correct you there. Let me correct you. You see, polygamy within the African culture is part of our culture, and it stems from productivity wars. So now we realize quickly that for a man, even within the Igbo culture, if you've read Things Fall Apart, you know that Okonkwo and that having more wives and children meant that you could work your land more, have bigger land, have more hands, right? Which meant that you produced more food, which meant that that translated to wealth. Do you understand? Do you see? And then when we had tribal wars, when young men went and died in the wars. Now, when the other men came back, they had fewer men, and those women and children had to be taken care of. Do you see? No. Do you see? In fact, our next topic, we're going to talk about this issue of polygamy and monogamy. Our next topic will be on this. So you see that our African culture and our parents who stayed married, who endured different things, were not stupid.
So you're taking a circumstantial event as okay. That's the reason.
No. You said who invented it, and I said situations.
So when God created Adam and then He said Eve as a helpmate, why didn't He create more than one Eve so that
Exactly.
Okay, let me explain. Okay, if you bring the Bible, let me explain something else. Let me explain something to you.
Sorry to cut you, but he did a one-on-one thing. So at least is wise God in all his wisdom did one-on-one, and then circumstances came into play. In which case, okay, women decided to be more than men, and then the men took it upon themselves and be like, oh, women that needed to be taken care of. So let us marry one or two. The women will not mind. Well, the women found out that they had only few men and a lot of women, so they didn't mind. And gradually it became a thing, and then it became a measure of wealth. Who decided it was a measure of wealth? So you can see that circumstantial things have now decided to put rules on.
I will come back to that. Philip, I will come back to that.
Thank you.
Okay. Hold on. Tamara, Chizoba, hold your thoughts. Philip has his hand up. Philip.
Yeah, so I just want to share a slightly different perspective when it comes to the idea of polygamy. There was also polyandry, and it was thriving, you know. There were women who actually married brothers, and, you know, within those cultures, and that was why you could have some matrilineal lineage where you claim to come from the family of your mother, for instance. For instance, among the Jaws, your father will not take care of you culturally. Your uncle will be the one responsible for you. So your dad will be responsible for the children of his own sisters, rather. You know, so there was a sort of balancing the equation and not allowing it to tilt towards some aspect. And even when it comes to war situations, there were like all female gangs, if I could put it that way, warriors, as you had in Dahomey, you know, women were. So across different African cultural settings, there were some sorts of differences, you know, cultural differences when it comes to gender relations, you know. And if you now come to the idea of why women will, sorry, I wanted to say something when it was coming to the body count issue, you know, which is supposed to be the issue, you know, of the day. And like Chizoba said, it depends on what you think you're looking for within a relationship, like she mentioned, you know. It may not matter to some people. It depends on your own experience as well, because I think ideally we are products of the different experiences that we've had. Maybe from your own family, your experience within a family in which you were brought up, or from your own, the experience of your past relationship. So each relationship may have, even if you've had body count, perhaps it may come, if you have slept with different people, perhaps there may become a time in your life where your value system changes. I think that is the word that I was coming from. So there are changes in value systems for individuals, you know, across time that, you know, informs their experience of the value they place on other people, you know. So I think it starts from the person. How do I perceive myself first? It determines what I appreciate and perceive in the other person. So I think that's my own take on the discussion so far. Thank you.
Okay, Philip, that's great. But the thing is, when you talk of value changes, does value change eradicate or erase the past?
So value will not change. Value will not change the past substantially, but value will change your interpretation of the past. Because what informs your action of the present and the future is your interpretation of the past in itself. Yeah. So you see somebody that you're not talking to before, you decide to start talking to the person today. Something may have happened. Perhaps you had a discussion. Perhaps somebody told you about something. So you reinterpreted the relationship that you've had in the past with the person, and that has informed your relationship with the person going forward. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Thank you. I'm just going to say quickly. I want us to be very mindful of the fact that we have. I know majority of us are Africans and Nigerians, but just be mindful. Like when we talk, apart from our culture, we also have to kind of recognize that other cultures, and we there are people who are from all different cultures here. And also, please be very mindful what you said. My mother is online.
So, I knew you didn't. I knew you've not seen her all the while. I know you didn't see her all the while.
But anyway, back to what you're talking about. You talked about God and church, right? I want to be very careful with that. And let me tell you why. We can't, in as much as a lot of people are Christians and Muslims that we believe in the Bible, we also have to be careful when we bring that into arguments. And let me explain to you why I say that. Now, the story of Adam and Eve, like you mentioned, is actually the story of okay, just like in African religion, right? The Yorubas have their history of how the world began. So would you now say, because you go to church, you believe the? I'm just saying. So which is correct? With the Yorubas with the Olodumare and Oduduwa story and the chicken. And do you remember the hen and the sand, and that's how the story of that, or the Bible? So I want us to be very, very careful when we mention the Bible and saying God said this, and so it has to be law. So we see with religion, I want us to be very, very careful. I can argue, or anybody could argue that is a story of the Jewish people, and they were trying to establish their origins. And
I totally agree, and I
so I'm just saying. So when we talking about, well, when we have conversations like this, just be mindful of that.
Take religion out, take everything out. I'm just saying that polygamy, these are all man-made, I don't want to call it rules. These are all man-made traditions, things laid in place.
Okay.
It's not
Do you know? Can I also tell? Do you know even the Bible you talk about? Even the Bible you talk about, the stories of King Solomon, for example. King David is described as in the Bible as the man after God's own heart. Do you remember? He didn't have one wife. I'm keeping it open, right?
I'm telling you, this is what I'm trying to say. I'm telling you that these are all circumstantial things. This, from the beginning, it was okay. We were told it was Adam and Eve. That is one-on-one. I'm just saying, one-on-one. From the Christian side of things, fine, it was one-on-one. But then along the line, things happened. And, like you said, some people would just come and they say, okay, there are a lot of more women than men. And then, all the women with children needed to be taken care of. These are all circumstantial things that happened along the line. Now, because it happened like that, and somebody says, oh, wow, this man he has taken on 10 wives and he has 100 children, and all of them are farming and they are raising goats, and oh, he has so much, so he's now wealthy. I want to be like that man, so I go and take another 5 wives from my own. It's circumstantial things that just happened along the line, and for some reason it built up some kind of ego that made some people think like, okay, you know what, this determines you have wealth because I saw this man with other plates. There's some people that have up to 10 wives and they are poor as hell. Nothing.
Absolutely.
Circumstantial things that have now
in that situation, who do you blame? The man or the women who keep marrying him?
That one concern them at their house and they do their own. But for me, I'm just saying that these are all circumstantial things that they became.
Well, let's come back to the topic.
Now the topic is, like you said, does body count?
Yeah.
I am saying generally, because of this culture, I'm still going to make air quotes on this culture, and I believe in culture. Actually, there are lots of values that culture brings. But I'm just saying that at the end of the day, the man who decides he goes to a prostitute and marries I don't judge people, because a lot of things can happen to them. Never say never. You can say never to a lot of things and you see happen to you or something around you. So I never say never. So if somebody goes and decides, okay, you know what, I see this prostitute, she's dancing on the pole, however the case may be, and this is the person I want to marry. He knows why he wants to marry her. She might have all the body count in the world, and he left a freaking virgin to go and marry her. He knows what he sees in her. Marry her. So that is really not a problem. I really would not even care, because this is your relationship. This is what you wanted from your relationship. I'm just saying it shouldn't count, because you don't want to use what the person did in the past to spoil your present relationship.
Essentially, what you're saying is body count should not count.
Shouldn't count, because if women were going to decide, women have egos too. Forget it. We can sit down and dwell on the past that even people that even without their body count in the past, they marry you and they still be accumulating body count. It doesn't even make any sense. But women can actually sit down and dwell on it, but it doesn't do anybody any good. Do you understand? You can be sleeping with the husband and be thinking about the girl. You know why a lot of women are just crazy all over the place when they hear their husband cheated or whatever it is? It's painful both ways. But because I decided not to dwell on it, because there's children, there's a future involved. I've said happily ever after to this person. There's a lot more at stake than actually whatever the person did in the past. It shouldn't count.
Right. Pause. Tom, I just want your thought. Now, you said, now, if let's say you found this out before you said I do, would you still go ahead and marry him?
about the sex. That's the reason why I dated or decided to marry this person. The person did what he did with whoever. I don't know whoever is past. Now I'm with this person. We are about to say I do. I am thinking.
I can't believe I'm talking about sex with my mom on the phone. Right. Right. Anyway, now listen. But listen to this, right? In as much as it's not all about sex, but sex is very important. Someone once told me that when there's the sex in the marriage is great, it's 10% of the problem. But when it's bad, it is 90% of the problem. Which means, do you see? Which means it is important. Do you understand? Do you know how many couples go through therapy or file for divorce based on sexual insatisfaction or dissatisfaction? Isaac, it seems like I itch you to say something. Go on.
No.
If somebody is sexually insatisfied or unsatisfied with their partner, it doesn't relate with what the person did in the past. The person doesn't know how to do it.
No. But absolutely true. But you just said, well, I'm picking up on what you said. What you said, it's not all about sex. But I was saying that it is an important part of it, and a part of it as well is whether or not, because it is important whether or not they've had, if they've had little or no sexual partners, it means they are inexperienced. Am I right or wrong? And so someone can look at that and say, that's not good for me. I want someone who's experienced. Or you have someone who's been around the block, the community mattress, and you said, you know what, I like the experience. The fact, do you understand what I mean? But what I would like to know, we cannot deny the fact that sex is an important part of marriage and relationships.
Oh no, I've never said it is not important. I just said, for me, we gave an example of me. I'm saying, like, for me, I've decided, apart from sex aside, this is the reason why I want to be with this person. So if I'm going to go and dwell back on people that I don't know that he has slept with, I don't even know where they are, what their names are, what they look like, and I want to go and sit down and think about that, it makes no sense for me and the future with this person.
So essentially, it shouldn't matter. Right. Who else is on Choose the Best Stable and who is against? Who thinks that it does count? Isaac, I think that your view kind of shows, in your opinion, I believe that you think it counts.
To an extent, it does. Because normally, if you're going into a relationship, the person you're going with, both of you should be matured and also be honest about it. So if your partner keeps reminding you of it's going to be a problem for your partner, it's better for you not to even start it at all. So just let the person know the past is the past. But if that's going to be a problem, then I think the person is actually going into that relationship solely because of body counts. But like, let me make a reference to what Chizoba said. Like, if you're married to that person and you said to live happily ever after and that there's a future and the kids, then there should be more to it. You shouldn't be looking at those things. You should look at the future. The body count right now should not be the primary thing. So, but to an extent. So if you are going to be honest about it and your partner is going to accept it, then it's fine. But if it's not going to, from the onset, it's better everybody just go their separate ways. Because I can't be in a relationship and you keep taking me back to my body count, trying to use it as to blackmail me. Yeah. So I wouldn't take that. So it's better we just end it at the beginning. And I'm also inviting my friend here too. He also has experience in that, and he would like to give his input.
That would be great. What's your name?
This Barrister Neki. Okay, let me remove it from my app.
Okay.
Right. What's your name? Sorry.
So what's your name? Hello.
Yeah. Hi. What's your name?
Good afternoon. My name is Nekabari.
Nekabari, welcome. And now,
thank you very much.
The topic today is, does body count count? And we've had some people who have said it shouldn't matter. It's your past. It doesn't matter. And we've had others who have said, look, it does matter because if I look back, I will feel a certain kind of way. Now, what's your stand? What do you think?
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for also accepting me to join your meeting.
I
would say it does not matter.
Okay.
And my reason for saying it does not matter is because it's not because it's in the past. I say it does not matter because I would prefer someone with experience. Yes, I'll prefer someone with experience. And I say this because when I wanted to get married, there were several persons who were virgins, and there were others who were not. But my prayer to God was, God should give me somebody with experience, not a virgin.
You are taking it with your full chest. Experience. Okay.
Yes. Yes,
Experience.
because I needed someone who will spoil me. In addition, I know what I like. I know I like someone with experience, and it's only someone with experience that will have the capacity to hold my attention. So
Absolutely.
for me, it does not matter. And I must say this. Whether you're in a relationship or in marriage, virginity does not translate into a good relationship.
Wow.
It also does
That
not
is true.
translate into a good marriage.
Absolutely.
But the caveat is this: if you know the person you are dating is not mature, please, it is in your interest to hold back the information. If you know the person you are dating is immature or is not good at information management, it is best for you to hold back the information.
Well, can I just interject that quickly before I forget? Now, what you are essentially saying is hold back information. And in when you go into marriage, they say be honest, open up, say everything. Do you see? So if you're holding back information and they come to find out later at some point, would you say that would be dishonesty? And again, in a marriage or in a relationship, you're supposed to be open and honest. Do you understand?
I will not call it dishonesty. I will not call it dishonesty because if your partner finds it difficult to let out very private information, it only tells one thing, that you have a problem. If your partner does, yes. If your partner does not feel comfortable talking to you about certain things, it shows you have a problem. I'll give you my personal example.
And also, you have no business being married if you have problems, such problems. If the person is not mature, maybe you have no problem being, you have no business being married to an immature person. But go on.
I agree with you on that. The reason why you say so is talking about maturity. There are some persons who will tell you on the surface, oh, feel free to talk to me about anything. I'm willing to hear anything. No, feel free. I'm a bad boy. You get it? That's what they will tell you. But the question is, will that person be willing? Does the person have the capacity, the strength of character to hear the truth and also to manage the information? I'll give you an example. I met this very beautiful girl who, after we've dated for 3 months, she said, look, you're a nice chap. I have something to tell you, but I'm afraid of telling you. And I said, what's the information? She said, no, let's go somewhere outside the house. Let's go to a hotel for a weekend. And we got there. And she started crying. And I was wondering why she was crying. Suddenly she told me that she has had a lesbian experience before. And that she's scared that if she tells me, I'm going to walk away. Guess what? It made me love her the more.
That's what I'm saying. Did you say, in fact, invite me, let's have a threesome?
No, I did not ask her. I did not say let's have a threesome. I did not say let's have a threesome out of respect for the woman. For me, I believe that kind of idea should be coming from the woman, not from me.
Absolutely.
You understand? But it made me love her the more. Yes, because to me, nothing is good, nothing is bad. It's the thinking that makes it so. You get it? Yes. So essentially, we've all had our personal experiences. We've all had our personal experiences, and I believe people do different things in life out of one, mistake, two, because they enjoy doing it. So we shouldn't hold what they do out of love for it, or out of mistake, or out of childishness. We shouldn't hold any of those things against them. Wow. What is more important should be what's the character of the person. How does the person want to move on from where he or she is? And if you think you fit into the kind of lifestyle the person has, then you people are good to go. But I must say, it is a very bad combination for somebody who has got strength of character to be involved with someone who have not got strength of character. Because at the end of the day, one person will begin to feel intimidated. Let us never forget that knowledge is power. Somebody with strength of character is somebody who has got mental stamina, mental integrity. But when the other party does not have, it becomes a problem.
Yeah, thank you very much. That was great. Now, I think we have to agree to disagree. We have to agree that some people believe or think that body count shouldn't count, and others think that it does count. And each, like we say, each to their own. And like I say, all opinions are respected, and we appreciate that. Now, we're coming to the end. We're coming to the end now. Next week, the topic will be monogamy. Is monogamy natural or a societal construct? Is monogamy natural or a societal construct?
Okay.
Now,
Allowed mommy to speak. Let us see how.
now, quickly.